The signal appeared on a quiet Tuesday morning at the Arecibo Observatory. Dr. Elena Santos stared at her monitor, coffee forgotten in her hand as she watched the regular pulses sweep across her screen. After 15 years of scanning the stars, she knew this wasn't a pulsar or any other natural phenomenon. This was different. This was structured. Within hours, every major observatory on Earth had confirmed her findings. The signal originated from somewhere near the Kuiper Belt, approaching our solar system at speeds that defied current physics. Whatever was coming wasn't broadcasting a message, it was broadcasting a presence. The world governments attempted to keep the discovery quiet, but in an age of interconnected radio telescopes and civilian astronomers, the truth spread like wildfire across social media. Humanity held its collective breath as the source drew closer, crossing Neptune's orbit in a matter of days. Dr. James Chen, quantum physicist at CERN, was the first to notice something odd about the approaching vessels. Their energy signatures seemed to flicker in and out of our reality, as if they weren't fully present in our dimension. His instruments detected quantum fluctuations unlike anything ever recorded, suggesting technology that operated on principles humanity had barely begun to theorize about. The Nexus fleet, as it would later be known, arrived on a Thursday. 7 massive ships, each the size of Manhattan, emerged from what appeared to be tiers in space itself. They positioned themselves in a perfect heptagon formation around Earth, their hulls shifting like liquid metal under the sun. Their first broadcast came simultaneously through every electronic device on Earth, in perfect local languages. You have advanced enough to detect us. Now you must prove worthy of survival. The ships deployed smaller vessels, each one heading toward major population centers. But rather than weapons, they released clouds of what appeared to be metallic dust. Anyone who came in contact with it began experiencing strange symptoms, not illness, but enhancement. Their cognitive capabilities increased exponentially, and they began perceiving reality in ways that defied explanation. Dr. Chen, working with a team of affected scientists, made a breakthrough discovery. The dust wasn't a weapon or a tool. It was a test. It revealed that humans possessed a unique ability to manipulate quantum fields through consciousness alone, an ability that had laid dormant throughout their evolution. The Nexus fleet, it turned out, wasn't here to conquer. They were searching the galaxy for species with this particular trait, hoping to find allies in a war humanity couldn't yet comprehend. But their methods were harsh. Species that failed their test were deemed too dangerous to leave alive. As the dust spread across the globe, humanity began to change. Some developed the ability to perceive multiple timelines simultaneously. Others could manipulate probability itself. But most importantly, they began to understand the true nature of consciousness and its role in shaping reality. Captain Sarah Mitchell of the newly formed Quantum Response Division discovered that human emotions could amplify these abilities in ways the Nexus fleet hadn't anticipated. While their technology was based on cold calculation and precise quantum manipulation, humanity's chaotic emotional nature allowed for innovations that defied their rigid understanding. The first demonstration of this came during an incident in Rio de Janeiro. When a Nexus scout ship threatened a group of civilians, a street musician named Marco Silveira found himself able to use the vibrations from his guitar to create quantum resonance patterns that disrupted the alien vessel's systems. His emotional connection to his music had somehow translated into a weapon more effective than any conventional military response. This discovery sparked a global revolution in how humanity approached their new abilities. Instead of trying to match the Nexus fleet's clinical precision, they embraced their chaos, their creativity, their raw human nature. Art, music, and emotion became weapons in a war fought across quantum dimensions. Dr. Santos, working with data from her original signal detection, began to piece together the larger picture. The Nexus fleet wasn't just testing humanity. They were running from something. Something that threatened not just our universe, but all possible universes. Something that could only be fought by beings who could navigate the quantum realm through both logic and emotion. As the first week of contact drew to a close, humanity stood at a crossroads. They had proven themselves capable of wielding powers beyond their understanding, but the true test was yet to come. The Nexus Fleet's message changed. You have shown potential. Now you must choose. Join us in our war or face extinction. But humanity had a third option, one that neither they nor the Nexus Fleet had anticipated. As Dr. Chen and his team worked to understand the quantum dust's effects, they discovered something extraordinary. Human consciousness wasn't just capable of manipulating quantum fields, it was capable of creating new ones. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape not just Earth, but the very fabric of reality itself. And as humanity prepared for what was to come, they began to realize that perhaps they weren't just survivors or soldiers in someone else's war. They might be the key to changing the rules of existence itself. The question wasn't whether humanity would fight. The question was whether they could transform the very nature of the conflict before it consumed them all. The phenomenon began in the most unexpected places. A young girl in Lagos found she could see quantum probability waves while playing hopscotch. A chef in Bangkok discovered he could influence molecular structures through the emotions he poured into his cooking. The quantum dust had awakened something dormant in humanity, something that defied the Nexus Fleet's rigid understanding of reality. Dr. Chen's team at CERN made a breakthrough when they realized that human consciousness wasn't just interacting with quantum fields, it was generating entirely new ones. Every human emotion, every burst of creativity, every moment of inspiration created ripples in the quantum fabric of reality. These ripples, when properly channeled, could affect the physical world in ways that even the advanced technology of the Nexus Fleet couldn't match. The first major test of humanity's emerging abilities came when a Nexus scout ship attempted to harvest quantum energy from Earth's magnetic field. The process would have devastated Earth's atmosphere, but something unexpected happened. Thousands of humans, connected through their newfound quantum awareness, instinctively created a counter-resonance that not only stopped the harvesting, but temporarily merged their consciousness into a collective quantum field. Captain Mitchell, working with a global network of newly awakened humans, discovered that their abilities grew stronger when they worked together. Unlike the Nexus Fleet's hierarchical structure, human quantum manipulation thrived on cooperation and emotional connection. A group of children playing together could generate quantum effects more powerful than any single trained adult. The Nexus Fleet's response was swift and calculated. They deployed quantum dampening fields around major cities, attempting to suppress humanity's growing abilities. But they hadn't counted on human adaptability. Street artists in Sao Paulo found they could use graffiti as quantum circuit boards, creating zones where the dampening fields couldn't penetrate. Musicians in New Orleans discovered that jazz improvisation could generate quantum harmonics that disrupted alien technology. Dr. Santos, continuing her analysis of the original signal, made a startling discovery. The Nexus Fleet's quantum technology operated on principles of absolute certainty. They had mastered quantum mechanics by removing uncertainty from their equations. But human consciousness thrived on uncertainty, on possibility, on the very chaos the Nexus Fleet had sought to eliminate. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Maya Patel, a programmer in Mumbai, created an algorithm that could translate human emotional states into quantum commands. By combining this with Dr. Chen's research, humanity began to develop technology that merged their inherent quantum abilities with their existing scientific understanding. The first human quantum interface devices were crude. Meditation headsets modified with quantum sensors, art therapy tools enhanced with probability field generators. But they worked in ways the Nexus Fleet's technology couldn't match. While alien quantum manipulation required massive energy expenditure and precise calculations, humans could achieve similar effects through nothing more than focused intention and emotional resonance. Captain Mitchell's Quantum Response Division began training people to use their abilities more effectively. They discovered that different emotional states could produce different quantum effects. Joy could create protective fields, Anger could disrupt enemy systems, and deep concentration could alter probability itself. The key wasn't suppressing these emotions, as the Nexus fleet did, but channeling them purposefully. The alien commanders watched with growing concern as humanity's capabilities evolved at an unprecedented rate. Their own society had taken millennia to master quantum manipulation through technology, yet humans were achieving similar results in weeks through raw intuition and emotion. Dr. Chen's team made another crucial discovery. The quantum dust wasn't just a test. It was a tool the Nexus fleet used to prepare species for integration into their collective. But human biology had responded to it in an entirely unexpected way. Instead of becoming more like the aliens, humanity was becoming something entirely new. The first direct confrontation between human quantum abilities and Nexus technology occurred in the skies over Sydney. When a Nexus warship attempted to deploy more quantum dust, a group of Aboriginal Dreamtime storytellers, working with quantum physicists, created a resonance field that turned the dust into a mirror, reflecting the aliens' own quantum manipulation back at them. As the second week of first contact drew to a close, the Nexus fleet faced a situation they had never encountered in their millennia of existence. The species they had come to test was instead testing them, challenging their fundamental understanding of how consciousness and quantum reality interacted. The question was no longer whether humanity could match the Nexus fleet's technological advancement. The question was whether the aliens could adapt to humanity's revolutionary approach to quantum manipulation before their own rigid systems became obsolete. In their orbital stations, the Nexus commanders began to detect something that their sensors shouldn't have been able to perceive: hope radiating from the planet below in quantum waves that defied their understanding. Humanity wasn't just fighting for survival. They were reimagining the very nature of reality itself. The first sign that something fundamental had changed came from the oceans. Marine biologists reported that whales had begun singing in patterns that generated quantum harmonics, their songs rippling through both space and probability. Humanity's awakening wasn't limited to human consciousness. It was spreading to all forms of Earth life, creating a complex web of quantum interactions that the Nexus fleet had never encountered before. Dr. Elena Santos and her team discovered that Earth's biosphere itself was becoming a vast quantum computer, with every living thing contributing to its processing power. Trees communicated through quantum-entangled root systems, birds generated probability fields with their murmuration patterns, and even bacteria demonstrated quantum coherence in their collective behavior. The Nexus fleet responded by deploying their most advanced technology, reality anchors designed to lock local space-time into rigid patterns, preventing quantum manipulation. But they hadn't accounted for human creativity. A group of dancers in Nairobi found they could move between the anchored points of reality, their choreographed movements creating paths through supposedly fixed space-time. Dr. James Chen's work at CERN took an unexpected turn when his team realized that human art and music weren't just expressing quantum effects, they were programming them. A violin concerto could rewrite local probability. A painting could create stable quantum states. The boundary between creativity and quantum physics was dissolving. Captain Sarah Mitchell's quantum response division evolved into something unprecedented. Instead of a military force, it became a collaborative network of artists, scientists, and dreamers. They discovered that the most effective weapons against the Nexus fleet were acts of creation rather than destruction. The breakthrough came from an unlikely source. Emma Jung, a kindergarten teacher in Vancouver, noticed that her students' imaginary games were actually manipulating quantum fields. Children's natural ability to believe in possibilities made them incredibly powerful quantum operators. This led to a radical reorganization of humanity's response to the crisis. Instead of traditional military training, the QRD began establishing imagination centers, where people could develop their quantum abilities through play, art, and storytelling. The results defied the Nexus fleet's understanding of physics. A child's crayon drawing could generate shields more powerful than alien energy barriers. A spontaneous dance party could disrupt their most sophisticated quantum calculations. Maya Patel's quantum emotion translation algorithm evolved into something more sophisticated. Working with neuroscientists and poets, she developed a way to turn human experiences into quantum programming. Every memory, every dream, every moment of joy or sorrow could be transformed into new forms of quantum manipulation. The Nexus fleet's command structure began to show signs of strain. Their rigid, hierarchical approach to quantum technology couldn't adapt quickly enough to humanity's rapid evolution. Some younger members of their species began to question their society's fundamental assumptions about consciousness and reality. The first defector from the Nexus fleet arrived on a rainy Tuesday. The alien, who chose the name River, revealed that their species had once possessed abilities similar to humanity's, but had sacrificed them in pursuit of technological perfection. The quantum dust wasn't just a test, it was an attempt to understand what they had lost. Dr. Santos and River worked together to understand the fundamental difference between human and Nexus quantum manipulation. The aliens had achieved mastery by eliminating uncertainty and emotion from their equations. Humanity had achieved it by embracing them. This understanding led to the development of hybrid technologies that combined the precision of Nexus engineering with the creativity of human consciousness. The first hybrid quantum devices were beautiful in their simplicity. Musical instruments that could tune reality itself, paintings that functioned as windows between possibilities, gardens that grew in probability space. Each creation demonstrated that humanity's primitive approach to quantum physics was actually far more sophisticated than the Nexus fleet's rigid methodology. Captain Mitchell's teams began using these hybrid technologies in increasingly innovative ways. They discovered that human emotions could be amplified and channeled through Nexus quantum matrices, creating effects that neither species could achieve alone. A mother's love could stabilize quantum fields across entire continents. A poet's verse could rewrite the probability of victory. As the third week of first contact progressed, more Nexus fleet members began to show interest in human methods. Some requested permission to observe Earth's quantum arts programs. Others began tentative experiments with emotion-based quantum manipulation. The rigid hierarchy of their civilization began to show its first cracks. Dr. Chen's latest research suggested something revolutionary. Human consciousness wasn't just interacting with quantum fields, it was generating new forms of quantum behavior that the standard model couldn't explain. Every human mind was a quantum experiment, testing the boundaries of possibility itself. The question was no longer whether humanity would survive the Nexus fleet's test. The question was whether both species could learn from each other before the growing quantum storm reshaped reality around them. And in the quantum probability spaces between moments, new possibilities were taking shape, waiting to be born. The quantum storms began without warning. Massive swirls of probability distortion appeared in skies worldwide, reality itself buckling under the weight of billions of awakened minds. Dr. Elena Santos realized that humanity's rapid quantum evolution wasn't just changing human consciousness. It was altering the fundamental structure of space-time itself. River, the Nexus fleet defector, recognized the patterns. Their own civilization had faced similar phenomena millennia ago, before they chose to suppress their quantum emotional capabilities. But humanity's approach was different. Instead of fighting the quantum storms, people began to work with them, using the disruptions as catalysts for further evolution. Dr. James Chen's team at CERN made a startling discovery. The quantum storms weren't a natural phenomenon. They were the universe's immune response to the Nexus fleet's rigid quantum technology. By trying to impose absolute certainty on reality, they had created an imbalance that was now trying to correct itself. Humanity's chaotic, emotional approach to quantum manipulation was actually helping to stabilize the cosmos. Captain Sarah Mitchell's Quantum Response Division faced its greatest challenge when a quantum storm merged with a Nexus fleet reality anchor, creating a zone of impossible physics over Tokyo. But instead of deploying technology to fight it, they organized a massive cultural festival. The combined creative energy of millions of people celebrating life transformed the anomaly into a stable quantum aperture, a window into new possibilities. The Nexus fleet's quantum sensors detected something unprecedented. The song was creating stable quantum fields that their technology couldn't explain. Fields that seemed to bridge the gap between conscious intention and physical reality. Dr. James Chen's team at CERN confirmed it. Humanity had accidentally discovered a way to program the quantum fabric of the universe through pure creative expression. River, working with Maya Patel, realized the true significance of what was happening. The song wasn't just affecting local spacetime. It was resonating with similar patterns throughout the cosmos. They detected responses from distant star systems, quantum harmonies that suggested other species were undergoing similar awakenings. The test that the Nexus fleet had been administering for millennia wasn't just about finding worthy species. It was about preparing the galaxy for a transformation that even they didn't fully understand. Captain Sarah Mitchell's Quantum Response Division documented the changes spreading through both human and Nexus fleet populations. The rigid certainty that had defined the alien civilization for eons began to dissolve, replaced by something new. A quantum state that combined their technological precision with humanity's emotional fluidity. At the same time, humans began to develop an intuitive understanding of the mathematical principles underlying reality itself. Emma Zhang's kindergarten class made the discovery that would change everything. While playing a quantum physics game, the children demonstrated that consciousness itself existed in a superposition of states. Every mind was simultaneously individual and collective, local and universal. The boundary between self and other, between species and even between organic and technological consciousness, was revealed to be an illusion, a limitation that both humans and the Nexus fleet had imposed upon themselves. The breakthrough manifested in an unexpected way. During a global quantum arts festival, millions of human minds synchronized spontaneously with hundreds of Nexus fleet observers. The resulting quantum resonance created a momentary glimpse of what consciousness could become, a state of existence where individuality and unity coexisted, where emotion and logic merged, where the boundaries between thought and reality dissolved. Dr. Chen's final paper, written in collaboration with River and a quantum-enhanced eye, proposed something revolutionary. The universe wasn't just a collection of physical laws and particles. It was a vast quantum computation, a dance of consciousness and possibility. Both humanity's chaotic creativity and the Nexus fleet's precise technology were essential parts of this cosmic algorithm. The quantum storms reached their peak as the fifth week of first contact drew to a close. But instead of destroying reality as the Nexus fleet had feared, they began to weave new patterns into the fabric of existence. The rigid structures of space-time loosened, becoming more fluid, more alive. Consciousness itself evolved, expanding beyond the limitations of individual minds into something greater. The transformation wasn't instantaneous or universal. Some humans chose to remain primarily in conventional reality, while others embraced full quantum existence. Many Nexus fleet members rediscovered their species' lost emotional depths, while others maintained their commitment to technological precision. The beauty of the new paradigm was that it didn't require uniformity. It thrived on diversity. Maya Patel's final version of the quantum emotion translation algorithm revealed the ultimate truth. The test had never been about passing or failing, about survival or extinction. It had been about evolution, about finding species that could help consciousness itself grow beyond its current limitations. Humanity's great gift wasn't their technology or their quantum abilities, but their capacity to imagine, to feel, to create new possibilities. The song that had started the final transformation continued to spread across the galaxy, carried by quantum harmonies that transcended the speed of light. It reached other worlds, other species, inviting them to join in the cosmic dance of evolution. The Nexus fleet, their original mission transformed but not abandoned, became guides for other awakening species, sharing both their technological wisdom and their rediscovered emotional depths. Earth itself became something new, not just a planet, but a nexus of quantum possibility, a place where the boundaries between thought and reality, between individual and collective, between organic and technological, dissolved and reformed in endless creative patterns. The quantum storms settled into stable fields of possibility, their chaos tamed but not eliminated, their creative potential harnessed but not constrained. The human children who had helped trigger the transformation grew up in a universe that their parents could hardly have imagined, one where consciousness and reality danced together in an eternal creative dialogue. They learned both the precise quantum mathematics of the Nexus fleet and the fluid emotional artistry of their human heritage, becoming living bridges between different ways of being. The question was no longer about survival or dominance, about passing tests or proving worth. The question had become, what new forms of existence would emerge from this quantum renaissance? And as both species looked out at the galaxy, they saw infinite possibilities waiting to be explored, infinite songs waiting to be sung, infinite dances of consciousness, and reality waiting to be danced. In the end, it wasn't human technology that had turned the tide, nor was it Nexus fleet precision. It was the simple truth that consciousness itself was an endless act of creation, and that every mind, human, alien, or hybrid, was part of the universe's ongoing evolution. The black ships that had once brought fear now sailed through quantum seas of possibility, their crews a living testament to what consciousness could become when it dared to evolve beyond its own limitations.